You have entered the analysis zone, a place where political correctness is non-existent. Critical thinking is required and conservative common sense reigns supreme. This is the Whitfield Analysis, and now, here is your host, Sam Whitfield.
Morning glory and evening grace, America. Sam Whitfield here, broadcasting live from the Next Gen Conservative Studios and simulcasting on NGC TV. Thank you for joining me. Well, folks, it's hard to believe that really now we don't even have a full month until the election. Everything has moved so fast. To be quite honest, sometimes it feels like 2012 just began. And it literally feels like I was telling you yesterday to, I literally feel like yesterday was my first broadcast of 2012. And that was when I told you that we would have to bust our asses this year and really work hard before November to make sure that whoever the candidate was, that they would be successful in defeating Barack Obama. We have since then, the nominee is Romney, obviously, and Paul Ryan, the vice president. I do want to cover the debate tonight. Although, if you follow me on YouTube, which I'll post to my website, theanalysisnow.wordpress.com, I'll have my YouTube channel up there. But if you've been watching me on YouTube, on Friday night I did a 2-hour Next Gen Conservative Television special. I did a 2-hour special with Trevor Johnson. He is my right-hand man, my second-in-command here at NGC. You all know him. He's been my co-host at times, and then also he's been the fill-in for me. Excellent guy. He's also one of my best friends, personally. So he and I had a 2-hour discussion in depth about the debate. So I'm going to outline some opinions I have about the debate tonight, just to kind of recap them for the radio audience. But I'm not going to spend too much time in depth since I spent 2 hours on the YouTube Google. We've been using Google Plus Hangouts to do these broadcasts, and I've got to say Google Plus is a pretty cool tool. So we did our show there. So if you want to watch that over on YouTube, there are 2 parts to it. So by all means, feel free to. And the telephone number, if you want to call in, is 714-816-4740. And you can email me by going to my website, theanalysisnow.wordpress.com, and hitting that Contact Sam button and filling out the info there. Also follow me on Twitter, at SamW_NGC. And we'll have a conversation there at the hashtag NGCR. Anyway, so I want to begin with the debate tonight. So the debate was interesting. It was a little unexpected, I thought. I had made a prediction that Biden was going to gaffe a whole bunch in this debate. And I was wrong about that prediction about him gaffing. He didn't seem to gaff verbally all that much. But he did, but I was surprised. I was a little surprised at the debate. Specifically, I was really surprised how angry and rude and upsetting he was. I mean, I wasn't surprised that that was him because Joe Biden has a repulsive behavior anyway, and I think that's kind of his personality, so I'm not shocked by that. He is rude and repulsive. But what I was surprised about was that he let it show on a national debate. I mean, you have to understand here, folks. The thing of it is, I was really worried that Romney was going to have to struggle through these, but the truth of the matter is, the way that the Obama campaign has been acting, and the way that the president and vice president have been acting, they're making the conservatives and Mitt Romney, they're making us look good. I mean, we're not having to do anything other than stick to our core values and whatnot. But they're destroying themselves. As I said last week when my apprentice, who by the way is 11, when my apprentice was on here last week, he'll be here again next week. But as he and I were saying, I mean, Obama just was not there for the debate. For that debate, he didn't show up. And so I tweeted this out on Thursday night. But it seems to me like the Democratic Party and the Obama campaign, both of these debates, they've been going from one extreme to the other. For example, Obama went from the one extreme of not even showing up to the debate mentally. I mean, he was just not there in that first debate. And so he got pummeled. And, people, even I was a little disappointed because I expected somewhat of a better repertoire from him. But he was just not there, folks. So then we've got that extreme. But then on Thursday night, we saw the exact opposite. I saw a very aggressive Joe Biden to the point where it wasn't aggressive in a good way. It wasn't, I'm gonna nail down my facts or anything like that. I'm gonna brush up on my debating skills. This was in your face, a-hole, just really rude behavior. And at one point, he was laughing during the debate and snickering and sneering. I thought, and I was the only one who thought this, a couple of us thought he was drunk. There were people on Twitter who thought that he was high because of all the giggling and laughing he did. I mean, I took debate my freshman year of high school, and I didn't stick in it, not because I wasn't a bad debater, but just because I found out that the club in and of itself wasn't my forte. I love debate, but I kind of have my own style of debate. And so, anyway. But one of the things that I picked up there, and you don't even have to be a debater to really figure this out, but you do not do any of the things that Obama or Biden did during either one of their debates. Obama, in his debate, was staring down at his shoelaces, looking mopey, smiling sheepishly, doing everything he could to kind of not be there. And it showed. And, you know, he was kind of timid. That's one thing. Joe Biden, though, you know, he was snickering and he made some very, cold remarks, when Ryan kept, bringing up examples of how small budgets work, he brought up the Kennedy administration, and Joe Biden was like, "Oh, you're saying you're JFK now? You're no JFK. Ha 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 ha." I mean, it was literally in your face, a-hole personality, like I said, and it was, and he kept laughing during the night. In fact, Trevor and I, in our 2 hour presentation, at the beginning of that video, we played a commercial. The RNC released a commercial. Where it basically collected all the segments of Biden laughing during key issues. And I mean, if you watched the debate on Thursday, specifically if you watched it on YouTube like I did, it was weird to see. Like I said, he was just laughing inanely. That overall, I think the debate in and of itself, if you want to be quite honest, the debate in and of itself was a draw. I think, it could have been a win for Biden. Had Biden stayed respectful and on task and, had the debate gone the way it should have, I seriously was thinking that there could have been a chance that Biden could have won this debate. Because when he's focused and not gaffing and whatnot, when he's focused and on task, like he was with Sarah Palin, I have to admit, those debates with Sarah Palin, whether you like the guy or not, he was a good debater. He was a very concise debater. I mean, and the guy's been doing it since the 70s. So it was really telling. So it was really kind of like he fell apart last night. But I have to tell you too, it's really telling of the left. Because, now, I don't like to quote other talk show hosts, because my opposition will think that I'm just mimicking whatever they say, but I was listening to Rush. I was listening to Rush this afternoon, actually. I have the Rush 24/7 podcast subscription. I was listening to his review on Friday from the debate. And he said that Joe Biden exemplified the classic liberal leftist strong-arm bully personality that we've seen for the last 12 years out of the far left. And actually, Rush and some of the other talk show guys have seen it for 25 years. And the far left, what you saw from Joe Biden, if you did not like that a-hole personality, which most people didn't, that really turned him off. I hate to say this, but that's how your entire party is. The Democratic Party is now. That's truly how they are. They're interruptive, they're rude, they're stark, all that stuff. So, but aside from Biden being rude, the one thing that that none of the commentators that I've heard so far are really focusing on is the fact that he's lying. and he made some lies that were pretty blatant, pretty outstanding. Anyone with a brain, I shouldn't say anyone with a brain, anyone with a brain, but more importantly, anyone who's been following the news and been following the reports on this Benghazi thing knows that Biden was lying. And what I mean by that is Biden brought up the point that during the beginning of the debate when when the moderator was asking about Benghazi, something came up along the lines of what was your response, and Biden basically said, well, I don't know what everyone on the right is talking about. We never about the increased security. I was never notified that no one called me saying that there needed to be more that we needed to increase security. I can tell you I stopped by Barack's office. I stopped by the Oval the other day, and Barack said the same thing. Neither of us heard a request for increased security in Benghazi. I don't know what you're talking about. And that was such a blatant lie, folks, because they just came out at the Senate hearings. There have been hearings this week on what happened in Benghazi earlier this week, and there were multiple sources that came out and said, in this hearing, we asked for, increased security, and we didn't get it. We asked for it multiple times. And there are documents to prove it, too. And so, this whole thing of, Biden's out and out lying. He's trying to cover for the president, and there's nothing to cover for. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to me, folks, that Obama's still in office. Honestly, it is. After Fast and Furious and now this, let me tell you, if this had been the stuff that the way Obama has reacted to both Fast and Furious and to Benghazi, these are Watergate type scandals. Or they should be. I mean, the actions that Obama took, or I should say, or therefore lack of, as I should say, should be enough. I think I can easily compare them to Watergate. No one's investigating the president on his knowledge of Benghazi or of Fast and Furious. And yet, if you remember with Fast and Furious, Eric Holder, the Attorney General, sent guns over to the drug lords over in Mexico, thinking that it would work to bait them. But once that blew up, he tried getting away from that as far as possible, and so did the president. And so it's unbelievable. And speaking of Benghazi, I do have an article from Breitbart.com that I posted. The other thing that I wanted to say about the debate that kind of brings me to my article is that at one point Biden was slamming the intel community for the Benghazi Libya thing. So not only was Biden lying during the debate, but he was slamming the he was slamming the intel community for inaccuracy on intel, and saying, well, we didn't get any information from the intel community regarding them wanting backups. Well, the intel community did want to send backups. So anyway, this article comes from Breitbart.com, which I'm about to read. I just tweeted it out here before the show. And the headline is former CIA chief slams Biden for blaming intel community for Libya confusion. Okay. Former CIA Director General Michael Hayden said on Friday that Okay, let me start over. Former CIA Director General Michael Hayden on Friday said that Vice President Joe Biden proved his leadership is not the kind this country needs. When Biden threw the intelligence community under the bus during Thursday's vice presidential debate with Paul Ryan. Quote, during the VP debate, we were disappointed to see Vice President Biden blame the intelligence community for the inconsistent and shifting response of the Obama administration to the terrorist attacks in Benghazi, Hayden said in a joint statement with Michael Chertoff, the former head of the Department of Homeland Security. Next paragraph. Hayden said during and after the attacks on the U.S. consulate in Libya, it was quote unquote clear that any failure was not on the part of the intelligence community, but on the part of the White House decision makers who should have listened to and acted on available intelligence. End quote. So what he's saying there, folks, is basically the intelligence community gave them intel, but the White House did not listen. So, next paragraph. During Thursday's debate, folks, Biden, in an attempt to absolve himself and Obama from any blame, first contradicted even State Department officials when he said that the Obama administration never knew Americans in Libya asked for more security. Biden then blamed the U.S. intelligence community for telling the administration that the attacks on Libya were not pre-planned terrorist attacks. Biden said on Thursday that as the intelligence community learned more facts on the ground, they changed their assessment. They quote-unquote changed their assessment. Hayden said Biden was not accepting responsibility for the White House's national security failures, and it was not a strong sign of leadership. Alright, folks, so sorry if I messed up a little there on the article. But anyway, my point is this is bad. This is bad. When you have got a national security, when you've got a former national security guy saying that the vice president is not strong on national security, well, that's worrisome. We have got to get these two men out of office, Obama and Biden. Otherwise, not only is this country's economy screwed, but this country's national security is screwed. I know I've said in the past I give the president credit for killing Osama bin Laden and whatnot, or having the SEALs take him out, giving that order. I still do give him credit. But I'm starting but I am really starting to doubt his ability to keep us safe if he and the Vice President will keep ignoring the advice of our national security teams who actually know what they're doing. Seriously, we can't afford these bozos for 4 more years, and I hope America's woken up by now. And Biden and Obama are going to continue to lose these debates. That's my prediction. We already saw it once from Obama. He's too sheepish to step up. Maybe that will change. But he could pull a Biden and just come off as a total a-hole. Too, he could become over-aggressive. Both of these men are really revealing their true character during the election. And I'm hoping that people are paying attention to them. Because if people are, they will not vote for Obama in the next election. Even the Democrats can't ignore that Obama's debating skills were terrible. And even some of them couldn't deny that Joe Biden was being rude and obscene. They're going to bring themselves down, folks. And I hope they continue to do so. We, the Republicans, we need to take the White House back. And if things keep progressing the way they will with the Obama administration before November, we will. I was not Romney's biggest supporter at the beginning. You all know that. I was a Herman Cain guy. But I support him fully now. And like I said, hopefully America is paying attention. Because, like I said, we can't do this anymore. If people are paying attention to Obama and Biden, they're laying themselves out on a silver platter by exposing what they really think. And they need to keep doing that, folks. That's what's going to have us win the election. But anyway, I'm going to jump out a minute early here. I am now contributing to the highschoolconservative.com. I will have an article up there shortly. Thank you, folks, for tuning in tonight.
90 seconds.
And listening to the program. I love talking to you guys. And we're only a couple more weeks away from the election. Hang in there, conservatives. You're doing a great job. We can do this. We will do this. And keep on praying too, folks. That's what's going to win this election. Prayer and faith
60 seconds
are key to taking back the White House. Anyway, folks, from all of us here at NGC Studios, have a great night. Have a good week, and I'll see you back here with Jared next week. Alright. Thank you, God bless, and good night.